Off in the city of Los Angeles. You already know what time it is, baby. 7 o'clock, November 14th, 2023. I'm your host of Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast, Duane Cofield. This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. What's cracking, y'all? Hope all is well. Appreciate you guys joining me again, man. This is, the thing about this here thing, man, I've explained it on other episodes as well, is that it's about showing up, dog. It's about showing up. It's about being intentional about that, right? Being consistent with that, right? And this is the thing about being a professional, right? In all aspects, showing up and performing, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Showing up and performing. And that's hard to do a lot of times because every time you aren't your best, every time you don't feel like doing it, every time but you get up and do it anyways. And I'm not saying I don't feel like doing this. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the whole thing about consistency and showing up. So many jewels in that alone, right? Before we even get to what we're going to talk about today. There's so many jewels in that. And I encourage people. I don't care if it's a job. I saw one of the homies just say he 6 months on his job. I'm like, man, it's not about the job. It's about doing something for 6 months consistency. Consistently. My apologies. That's what it's about. A lot of people think it's about the actual particulars. It's not about the particulars, man. It's about what you're setting yourself up for later. You're practicing, right? You're practicing consistency. You're practicing obedience. You're practicing staying true to yourself. You're practicing staying out the way. You got all these things going. And it's preparing you for something greater later. So I'm just saying, show up to your shit, man. For real. Show up. Be present, be aware, look at the opportunity, shake hands, introduce yourself. You never know. I tell my son that earlier. I said, man, don't walk through life like you're gonna get a second opportunity with shit. That's not a given. So don't walk through life like you just gonna get it again. You got to take every rep, everything as if it's your last. And I heard Biggie say that. Live life like you're an intern. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your first day on the job. And there was so much power when he said that. I'm like, damn, that's game. And what he meant by that is have that hunger and desire every single time you approach someone, a goal, whatever the case may be. That stuff is critical, man. So, man, you know, I just wanted to start off with thought like that because it's this is I think we're going on. This is our 200 and something live. Um, we this is our fourth season. I believe we're on episode 15 I'm sorry, fifth season, episode number 15 of the fifth season, which is crazy. Either 15 or 13. I'm losing count, and that's a good thing, right? I'm not keeping score like that. But this episode is, man, leave the miracles to God. Just do your job, right? And what that means is, man, we try to solve stuff, man. We think we try to play God so much, man, that we actually convince ourselves that we can work these miracles without his help. Like this miraculous stuff that we're asking for. Like, okay, he's gonna allow it to happen without, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no, matter of fact, I don't need God. He'll let me do it all by myself, right? And we get that. I know I got that from the game for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in the game, you can control your destiny, right? I can take a double up, get me $50, go get a double up, 100, zip, a quarter, whatever, and keep flipping. And you kind of controlling your own destiny, right? So when you get to a point to where you like in my case, you don't know how the next move is gonna happen. Right? That's like saying, like, you know what I mean? In the game, you're like, man, okay, I just finished my 50 up, man, but I'm gonna get a brick eventually within the next. You're like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, right? And a lot of times that heavy ass lifting, that miracle stuff is none of your spiritual business, right? And what that means is like you shouldn't be occupied with that. The thing is like working in a company that you in departments that's none of your business. Like If you down here, whatever, you shouldn't be in the C-suite. Like, okay, so them guys do that. They do more strategic thinking. Like you're more of an engineer, you're more mechanical stuff. Why are you over here? Right? Let them do the visionary stuff. Let them see down the road. Let them do their job and you stay in doing yours. The world works much better when we assume our positions, right? And that may be other things. And this is the thing, right? So as we're waiting on our miracle, we very well could still become one to someone else, right? There's other little busy jobs that we need to be doing up until our time comes. We don't need to sit there and watch God. We don't need to sit there and watch the pot. We don't need to sit there and wonder, how in the world is he going to pull this miracle off? It's none of your business. Just know it's coming. That's the beauty in it. Know that it is on its way. Irrespective of when it arrives, irrespective of where you think it's supposed to go that fast, to come to you that fast. And keep in mind, right? This is a therapy for me as well because I'm really talking to myself. I promise you I am because I'm impatient. I got that from my dad. My dad was super impatient. So I became impatient. And I started saying, man, hurry up. I'm like that now. I tell my son, hurry up, man. And I'm like, man, why am I rushing everything? What am I missing in the process? Right? Because a lot of times things aren't moving at the speed that you like them to because you haven't done something yet. Right? There may be some preparation things that you need to consider that you haven't thought about. There may be some things that you need to do first or that slash, there may be some things that God is preventing you from. So, and me being that person that got that type A personality where you just think you control everything, that doesn't sit well with you. You want to, man, I can move this, I can do this, I can do this. And the whole time God's working it. So what happens sometimes too is when you working something, you trying, and you putting so much force into it that you run out of steam. You're like, "Man, I can't, I'm just exhausted. I can't, there's nothing else I can do." And that's okay because sometimes God is trying to get you to go do something else while he works that magic out. That's not your problem. That's God's problem. You're supposed to come up with the idea. You're supposed to do the busy work. That may mean going to go, get pricing on this. That may be going to go do this. There's legwork to be done. Why are you over here in the miracle department? You know what I mean? Running shit on. Anybody see my order? You all in the miracle department, right? Hey, where's order 4-3? Has he started making that yet? Get your ass up out of here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What you doing in here? You ain't supposed to be back here where we making miracles. This ain't none of your business. Ain't you down there? You down there in the belief department. You ain't supposed to be up here where we make miracles. You're just supposed to be in the belief department. What the hell are you doing up here? And that's what we do oftentimes, right? We go up in the miracle department and start dictating. Well, man, hey man, was such and such a miracle. He said he got his already. And and he might have been on you don't know what his timeline was and when he put his application in. You don't know any of that. Right? But here we are in the miracle department telling God what time ours is supposed to be here. Hey man, so hey, hey man, so okay. Which miracles are those? Where those going? Right? We doing all that. Where those going? Oh, ooh, he got his. Oh, that's nice. Hey man. Oh, now I want to change mine because I want one like his. We start tripping, right? We start to envy other people's stuff. Once we go up there, we see, okay, man, such get and the same thing right here. Such and such is getting his or hers or whoopty wham, and my mine ain't here yet. Man, I prayed, man. I've been doing this and this and that. I ain't did no dirt, blah, blah, blah. Right, man. It take a minute to build miracles. Them shits ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So what you up here pressing people for? God come pull you to side. Why you up here pressing my foes, man? This ain't easy to build. You asked for this. We got you all these other miracles that you asked for, didn't we? We got you everything you've asked for over your entire life. You ain't missed shit, have you? Nah, man, I got everything. Okay. Well, what makes you think we ain't gonna deliver this one? Right? What makes you think this one ain't coming through? All of a sudden, we stop learning how to produce it. We ain't the magic ain't gone. This is not, and it's not delayed. It's what Nipsey Hussle say. Perfect timing seems like I'm too late, but the first part is the most important part because it's perfect timing. That means the timing it couldn't have come at a if it would have came earlier, it wouldn't have hit right. It came too late, it wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? It's God, oh, that was perfect. Like the meals you get, you're like, oh, that was right on time. I was just hungry enough for that, and man, it came right on time. Good looking. That's the business he's in. Right. I was talking to my students about something that theme parks do with their apps, right? And how they're able to kind of make people think that, or make them feel better about lines. So, how you got the app for like Universal Studios or whatever. And what they do is they put the times on there. Well, they inflate those times. Those aren't the real times. Those are inflated times in order to make you think that you came up. Because if I tell you a line's an hour and it's an hour, you're not happy about that. But if I tell you a line's a 45 minutes and it's really 20, you're happy about that, right? Or if I tell you it's an hour and a half and it's really an hour, like, oh, that's gravy. But if I said that from the jump, it wouldn't sound that attractive. So they have this manipulation thing that they doing. And I was thinking about in terms of satisfaction, right? How do we, you know, how are we satisfied even when it seems like something is misleading, right? And I'm sitting up there like, okay, let me check. And the whole lesson was in terms of what you're willing to pay for something, right? Price. So we're talking about price. That was the whole purpose of the lecture, or whatever the case may be. And it was cool, right? But it was like, understanding that God's not in the disappointment business. So he's not gonna let you down at all. So when you thinking like, man, I'm not gonna get what I asked for, you will. It's gonna be better. God's not in the business of no. God's not in the business of you don't deserve this. God's in the business of giving you exactly what you're supposed to have. Now, the key is you can switch your direction. God will still meet you wherever you're going. That's the killer key right there. Wherever you're headed, God will meet you there. So it doesn't matter. So even if you headed down the wrong direction, God will meet you there and talk to you and hopefully get you in the right direction. If you're in the right direction, you need a slight pivot. He'll meet you there and turn you wherever you need to go, or give you the blessing that you're supposed to have at that time. I center everything. All my conversations are centered around that, no matter what, because I understand, right? I get it. It took me a while. I'm still going through stuff. I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to be a better person. Still trying to figure this whole thing out. Because the things that I can share with you are my past experiences. So the things that I've already done, the things that I'm trying to do right now, mad difficult. So trying to pursue a PhD, I finally got a mentor for the PhD. Now I'm like, okay, the next phase. Every night I'm sitting up there studying my ass off. So, but who cares? And I don't know what I'm doing. The beautiful part about it, trying to open a restaurant, another one. Don't know what I'm doing. Have no idea. That's the beautiful part about it. It's none of my business. I know what we want. I know what it's gonna do, but it's none of my business how it's gonna happen. I did the half, and now I've got to do the other little busy work. But God's gonna do that heavy lifting, the stuff that I need moved out the way, the stuff that I need put with me, added. That's what God's gonna do, right? Did some other stuff already, right? That made it perfect for my kids. So that worked out. So I'm cool with what God's guiding me. And it took my wife to make me realize that. She was like, he has not let you down yet, has he? Never. Then what are you talking about? And I love her her calmness and the ability to relate the same messages that I put out back to me because it sounds better, right? More effective. So when we think about these things that we had, this is another thing. Don't downplay it. Don't ask for something small. Ask for what you want. Be specific about it. Be detailed about it. Write it down. Go where you want to go. Start to speak it to people. I was in the dentist. She was talking about this place that I'm trying to go to grad school at. Dentist. She just brought it up. Talked about Irvine. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's about UCI. She like, yeah, I went to UCI. And that's the thing. How beautiful the campus was. Kobe used to come down there. They changed the floor. Da, 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 da. She telling me all this stuff. And that's how God talks to you. They all the messages, man, be delivered by anybody, including movies, random. Just God is ubiquitous, right? And that term meaning basically everywhere you can look, that's where God is. And this isn't about religion. Has nothing to do with that. But it does have to do with what's going on and taking place. Most of the stuff you can learn online. Now, the key is, what can you be doing while God's working on your miracle? Okay, say for instance, you need the funding. What kind of research can you be doing right now? Does anybody belong to a university? If not, look at that. See how you can get access to the library card of the databases, right? The databases are money alone. You can do so much business research with them databases. It's crazy, right? And you can find out things if sociology is more your thing or whatever the case may be. You got a library card. You got a local library card, right? You belong to the local chamber of commerce. Do you go to Toastmasters? Toastmasters is a great way to network because most people are professionals. So if you need job, you need experience, this is a good place to start. And it will help you with your speech development, right? So those are all little small little the Rotary Club, they early in the morning business leaders in the area. All these things can help you advance. Trust me on that, right? So these things, what else can you be doing in the meantime? I can go scope the competition. I can go buy something from them. I can go into their store, look at their price and grab their printout. Start to scope it out and start to look at other competition. What else can I do? Because this is stuff that God isn't going to do for you, right? The competitive intelligence, the business plan stuff. This is stuff that you're going to have to do. So you might as well start practicing now or start to get ready now. I don't like things to creep up on me and surprise me. Like, damn, I got to do this now. Nah, man, I got POS systems. I've been buying iPads over the last 6 months, just setting ourselves up so we're not mollywopped once we do open. About to buy a rice cooker. Once it come sell on Black Friday, I'm about to get like a 60-cup rice cooker. Ain't with the games, you know what I'm saying? But slowly, I've learned. This is stuff that I learned from the game, right? Piece your way into a brick. You ain't gotta buy the whole bird initially. You buy 9, 9, 18, 18, and then go yourself up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, chip away at stuff. What can you do in the process? There's plenty you can do. What can I read on? What can I listen to? What podcasts are out there on restaurants or whatever it is I'm interested in? I'm gonna keep using restaurants as my reference. I buy books, I listen to podcasts, I buy more books, I find stuff on TV, and wherever I look, I find what I'm looking for. Ain't that crazy? Because it's an intentional thing, right? So you can look. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for whatever, and you'll find it. Just like I'm looking for drama. If I'm looking for bullshit, if I'm looking for this or that, you'll find that too. Right? So the main thing is what am I looking for? If I'm looking for inspiration, I can't find none around my neighborhood. Let me go to the business district. Let me just go where commerce is taking place and just go walk around and feel that energy and see what people are buying and selling and da 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 da. Right? If I want to know how restaurants, I'm gonna go sit at a restaurant, just watch what they do. I'm gonna buy some food, but I'm gonna take my sweet ass time eating it, and I'm gonna watch everything that they do. Right? Okay, well, I want to drive a truck. I'm gonna go post up at the truck stop and just peep game, see how many people come in, what kind of loads they got, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What can you do? Because a lot of times there's so much stuff you can do in the process without going up in the miracle department and fucking with them. That's the one thing you want trying to stay away from, right? You want to go to where you can do things. I got the belief that they're taking care of what they need to taken care of, but I'm gonna go do what I need to do because I know that there's some stuff that needs to be done. I may need to go get a CDL. I want to drive buses. I want to drive trucks. Okay, shit, go get the book. Take one step, man. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. You got to take one step towards your action. Move. Let me move on something. Let me move physically because you got to generate energy in the universe. You are energy. And when you move around, you create it. Just like you can talk, you can bring bad energy into a room. You can ruin a room, homie. Trust me on that. Or you can go in there and light the shit up. I remember one of my professors told me that the way he explained it to me was you got this aura when you walk through the class, when you walk through the halls, people feel you because I had a different kind of energy. I just came home and I wasn't walking the hallways and at university. I was shocked too, right? But it was knowing why you were there, right? Being intentional with that, knowing I had a purpose. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to do something. I'm here to leave my name and my legacy. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? And it led me up into where I'm doing a podcast with you guys right now. So I had to do a bunch of busy work. I had dreams then, these same ones that I want now. And God, like, man, you got to do a gang of shit. It's gonna take you like 20 years. Like, what? Man, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna work some jobs you didn't like. You're gonna move a bunch of places. You're gonna learn a bunch of stuff. And then I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm like, man, he didn't really say 20 years at that time. He just didn't tell me anything. Right. But slowly but surely you start to look back in your track record. You look to the side, like, well, damn, I do have everything that I asked for. It's not one thing that I'm missing. Not one. Now, certain people I certainly wish I could have my dad back. Right. I like things like that, yeah. But other than that, my kids, my mom, the stuff we do, gravy. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that's listening to the power again, just to let you guys know what book we on again. Listening to the power again. And it talks about that whole gratitude thing, being thankful for everything, right? All that. That's crazy. Like, man, just going back and doing an audit and just like, man, look at this. My AC works, my this works. Oh man, gravy. Now let me go out here and try something because I know God is real. So let me put my business plan together. If I need one, I was just listening to the slutty vegan, didn't have a business plan, no nothing. And this is the case with a lot of people. And one of the things she kept it so real in her interview, and I'll try to share that interview with you guys when I find it. She was like, you know, they were like, you think it'll work if you did it again? She's like, I don't know. She was like, it was a timing thing. And I love that transparency and honesty with their audience to say, like, everything isn't calculated. Like some of this shit we wing and some of the shit we got hella lucky on. Keep it real because you'll lead people on and you'll get to where like you like me, like, damn, why isn't this shit working, man? You said it was going. They leave things out. Like, man, it's just, I just happen to be here, or I happen to know them, and I happen to. But a lot of times, luck isn't happen to. It's you follow through on something, became friends with this person who happened to be related to someone. But it started with some action that you took. Always does. It starts with something you've done, something, whether it be you befriended somebody, you took a job somewhere. I got friends right now that I've worked with in radio that are doing other stuff now that I can reach out to. But I'm like, man, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time I'm building my network. So I know a lot of people. So don't be afraid of change, right? This is the thing, right? People always talk about the day one, stick here. I've been here for the X amount. That's cool. But get out and go mingle too, man. The world is really big and there's a lot of opportunities. And a lot of those, I would say probably 80 to 90% of them are based on who you know. My students right now are trying to go for jobs. I'm like, dog, I said, man, every job that I've received was because I knew someone. Not one application called me back. Like, hey, man, Mr. Cofield, We like your application. We love your resume. Never happened. Ever. And my resume is off the hook. But it didn't never just nah. So it was because of someone I knew, right? It was because I mentioned it to someone. That's it. And a lot of people going to this crowded ass door putting resumes in. And I'm like, man, you tripping. Get to know your person that's sitting next to you in class. I said, get to know them, get to know your professors, get to know your dean. I'm trying to give them the same game that I used, right? I was had 3 or 4 internships when I graduated and a job. Right? But that's because I was approaching things a little bit differently. I was hungry. I had that intern mindset that Biggie was talking about, right? And that's us right now. So if we can't, like you being in a restaurant, yes, it man, but it's you have to know something too. But like working at a restaurant, what do they tell you when you ain't doing nothing? When ain't nothing shaking? Go do something, go clean some tables, go sweep. Something needs some attention. And it might be your ass. You might need to go walk. You might need to go do something, exercise, right? God might be telling you that, like, man, I'm gonna give you a miracle, but I want you to live through it. So why don't you go out here and develop some other habits that are gonna make you happy as well while I work on this miracle? Because I don't need your help. I just need you to believe in me. That's it. I don't need your help. I've been building miracles since the beginning of time. How you think this earth got here? But since you want to come help and since you don't have shit else to do, go do something else, right? Go work on yourself. What else you need? You need to learn Spanish? There you go. You need to do this? World is yours. Free everything. Internet wasn't around in the 80s, man. We struggling. But now we have it. So we had the ability to learn what we need to learn, and that's what God's telling us. Man, go on YouTube, learn some shit, homie. What you missing? You know how to put together a P&L statement? Okay, well, go ahead, YouTube it. There you go. I'll be back. Go on, right? And he just move your ass on because you shouldn't be up there messing around and meddling around and trying to figure out what time your miracle coming any damn way. You tripping. That's not for you. So that's the thing what we have to really start looking at. We really have to start looking at what we can do with our time and what are we doing with our time. Are we developing habits? Are we developing um, good networks, right? Because the power, there's a saying that goes, and we talked about it last time, you are the statistical average of the 5 closest people to you. So you better figure out who that is or who that shall be, right? Because you can modify that. Right, that's one of those things. It's not like DNA, right? You can't modify that. You can modify your network. That's not a DNA related thing. So you could start to wiggle in other circles and see what those actually produce, not with the intention of getting something from those circles, but the intention of bringing something to it. Right? You don't look for your return, your ROI from the homies. You put the intention towards the homies and look for your ROI from God, because that's the only one that could really pay your bill, anyways. So you give your all every time, like I try to every Tuesday. Try to leave it here, man. I don't got nothing left. And Tuesday's my early day too. And I've been talking. I taught 2 classes online. I'll be running my mouth. And I last night I did 3 yesterday. So not to say anything, but I'm saying I get so much practice in talking. I'm becoming really proficient at it. Love it. So this is the busy work that I can do. What else can I do? I can go on Khan Academy. Now I got my son working on that. He's ahead of things on decimals and da 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 da. Da. But I'm getting habitual with that now. Okay, what can and I always say, man, that we talked about the habit stacking. You can do that as well. What can you do? Okay, you can play PS for 30 minutes, but you got to give an hour of math. Yeah, go get the book or rent the book. Doesn't matter. Go to the library, check it out. But you got to do an hour of math. What kind of math, D? What kind of math is on that next test you need to take? Oh man, it's trigonometry and calculus. So be it. Make that happen. Right? Don't let it be intimidated. Get the one that says such and such for dummies. I don't take that shit personal, man. Not when I'm on a mission. I remember when I first went to the gym, man, I couldn't lift 225s. on the bar, struggling with a bench, struggling. Like, man. And I saw dudes chinking, chinking, pushing it up, da, 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 da. Like, man. But I had to keep going, right? I had to humble myself and realize that I had a larger objective, much bigger picture. So I couldn't go in there and worry about the stuff. God will get that to me when I'm supposed to be at the 45s or the 245s, whatever I got on there, a couple plays. But right now, I need to continuously show up, right? Show up with this consistency and see what it does. And that's the thing with us. We got to constantly show up, even when it seems like the miracle ain't going to crack, right? I've been doing this for 5 years, same podcast for 5 years. And the main thing in terms of returns, I love it because you guys give me the most, right? You guys give me the return. I don't get any financial gain from this. I don't get any type of notoriety. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to change lives internally, right? So, like when I get emails from the homies, I got an email from somebody in Seattle. I got an email from somebody in UK. Man, that's it. And I don't even need that because that's none of my that's none of my business. That's things that come along with this, attachments, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what that is, right? But other than that, it's that's ego-driven stuff. That's not something that I'm definitely interested in, right? So this is the thing, right? We got to do the work when there's no audience and no applause. There's no reward. There's no nothing, right? You got to still show up, show out, and know that the miracle's on its way. I don't know when it's going to show up. I don't know when it's going to arrive, but I know it's coming. I promise you, I know it's coming. So I'm going to continue to work. I'm going to continue to develop myself. I'm going to continue to do business accordingly. I'm going to learn these things. I got a certain timeline to do this, right? I got 2 years to learn Spanish or whatever. I'm about to knock it down. Okay. The first month, I'm gonna do this. You start to set these small little tactical goals. Okay, my first month, I'm gonna just learn nouns. I'm gonna learn how you ask for the bathroom, um, um, more, how you say, can she go to the you just start setting these things up, these small little goals, micro accomplishments, right? And you'll see what the difference will be over a long period of time. I promise you that, man. We've had that conversation. You deviate just slightly for a longer period of time, that distance becomes wider and wider and wider, right? Wider and wider. So, same thing holds true when you're on a positive too, right? You're on a positive trajectory. All you have to do is just do 1%. So, we had that conversation. 20 minutes a day equals 1% a week. Let's get to it, right? So, what can we do right now? There's a lot we can do. First thing we need to do is write down what we're going to do tomorrow. Now, get your paper out, get you a pen, take action right now. Write down what you want to do tomorrow for your dream. Busy work. What am I going to do? What do I need to do? 20 minutes. What can you fill in that 20 minutes? What can you do? I can do this. I can look this up. Okay. Write it down. We're trying to get habitual with this shit. You feel what I'm saying? So write it down now. Take action now. Don't wait. Who got a pen? Let me get that. I don't care what it is. Write it down. And then tomorrow get you a notepad so we could keep this stuff. And you can start writing stuff that you want to happen or that will happen or that you intend to happen, and watch the busy work. And you keep referencing. You ain't got to worry about that big heavy ass goal. God got that. Don't trip. It's coming. Get busy to your busy work. Promise you to get cracking. So that will conclude our weekly tap in for this week, man. Look, listening to the power again, highly recommended if you can, if you want to. It would it changed my life. I don't know if it'll change yours, but it definitely would change mine. Check it out. Let me see. I guess I'll show it to y'all. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, let me see. Should be the last thing I was listening to. Just sharing this with y'all. All right. All right. So let's see. I got some stuff in here just to kind of go over some stuff. Things no one else can teach you, turning losses into lessons. This is really good. He's cool. He's a rapper, blogger, does some well. Master Your Thinking. I haven't finished that one. So I'll get back to you guys on that. We'll see. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, excellent. Promise you. Outliers, excellent. Obstacle on the Way was pretty good too. Stop Thinking Yourself. I haven't finished yet. The Magic, Inner Engineering is pretty good. The Yogi's Guide to Joy, and then Power. This is the one. This is an excellent book. It's kind of foo and it has this kind of spiritual type of music, but promise you, it will change your world. All right, peace and blessings. Tapping out.